Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He was like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, yeah, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire. Only. And welcome in a very happy Monday. It is InGame Live, and we are PrimeTime here on the SportsGrid Network. I'm Joe Raineri, joined by the one and only Dave Sharapan in the house on an absolutely loaded, and when I mean loaded, I'm not talking about Dave. I am talking about the card here tonight where we've got nothing but playoff hockey, playoff basketball, full slate of Major League Baseball. The Yankees have already lost today, and this way we don't have to cry about that. That's going to be fantastic. Congratulations to the Oakland Athletics going to the Bronx as a $2 underdog and handling business and managing to get Aaron Boone thrown out of the game when he really didn't do anything. So all sorts of fantastic stuff going on the diamond here tonight. But Dave, as far as the NBA goes right now, more of the same with the Cavs and Magic, 48-36 right now with about 3 minutes ago in the half on that one. Both teams still having difficulties putting the ball in the basket. And also the Knicks are having a few issues doing that in the first quarter here. 25-18, Sixers on top with just about 30 seconds left to go here. Did you like either of these games? Were you zigzagging your way through the card tonight?
No, great to see you. Good transition. You got me with the zig and the zag because I've been hearing about the zigzag theory for 50 years in the book. They're zigging, they're zagging, which I don't know which way to go, but no. All right. If you bet the favorites over the weekend, Joe, you're pretty heavy right now. Your pockets are full. Your cup is overflowing with stuff to look at for today. So, no, today wasn't the day that I wanted the Magic. This is more Cavs. It's personal with the Knicks and the Sixers with me, though. I like the Sixers tonight. I think the game stays under. Huge steam came down early today from the opener of 209. It got as low as 203, finally hit the bottom. For all the razor blades and all the bad guys came in and took it over. Game closed around 206. So early start looks like the under was the side, at least for the total. I like the fact that the Sixers, listen, they started game one just like this. And how did it work out? The second and third quarter was all Knicks. The Sixers made a decent charge, and that was it. So I don't know. I mean, we got guys on the ground sending me pictures right now directly from Madison Square Garden saying this place is buzzing. Everything's ready to go. And I got guys out here telling me the Sixers are the side. So Eastern Conference playoffs, not much drama. Everybody, all the favorites won. All the home teams won. Everybody was supposed to win, did. Maybe tonight we'll get something different. I don't know. Maybe not. We got Lakers, Denver later. You know, Big Dog won today. You're right, in Yankee Stadium. And Boone didn't even say anything. They threw him out.
I know.
They threw him out. He said that the guy in the stand said it. The ump didn't even care. I can't stand that, Joe. I don't like when the umps don't listen. You got to listen. Could have kept him in the game.
Yeah. So it was so good. But Boone really didn't affect the outcome of that game one way or the other, because I don't think he might actually have a higher batting average than Aaron Judge right now, but that's not the point. The point is here, not only do we have the Knicks trying to battle back here now on an uphill climb. By the way, the Sixers did exactly the same thing a couple days ago in game one. They went, they had a nice lead in the first quarter. They won the second. Then, of course, we know that the 76ers watched him go back to the locker room for a little while, and that's when all hell broke loose for him. So, and that's my big thing here, is that will Embiid finish the game? And that is unfortunately the point we're at, because he's not 100%. And it feels like he's one move away or one slip away where the Sixers could be in trouble. So I bet them early. I bet him first quarter, first half, because quite honestly, I don't know that he's going to make it the full game here. We'll see. Him and Maxey were listed as questionable all day long. Maxey with some sort of illness, but both are going, obviously, now for the Sixers, and we'll keep you posted on that. Also, on the ice right now, hell of a start to the Toronto-Boston game right now. Toronto trying to even things up. 3 goals in the first period. So if you had an over 5.5, you're loving what you're seeing right now. If you have a Maple Leafs ticket, Dave, not so much. You're trying to figure out exactly what do we have to do to actually maintain a lead in this series, because I don't think they've had one yet, have they?
No, they tied it. I mean, Boston scored the first goal, and they tied it. They were 1-1. And to try to get to the end of the period tied and give themselves a chance to start the second period, get a lead on the fresh ice. It doesn't happen. The Bruins get a goal. They're up 2-1. Bruins won game 1, 5-1. They got, I mean, it was 4-0 at one point, and everybody in Toronto is going, well, same thing. Another spring, another deficit. We're going to have to. I didn't think that the Maple Leafs had to win game 1 to win this series. They have to win tonight. I think they go down 2-0 and then, face having to win both games to bring it back with a 3-game series with Boston, with 2 of them on home ice. This isn't a good start. The game is very entertaining. I'm watching it, as opposed to the other game, which is basically a soccer game on ice. Carolina and the Islanders played a very low-scoring, tight, really well-played hockey game, game 1. Things shaping up the same way right now. No score. 6 minutes, just under the 6-minute mark left. I think this is a safe bet where almost you're going to see a 5 in this series for the total at some point, because the book's only defense is when you go under, maybe change of venue, go under again, is you got to move the total down. So 3-1 is likely to be the final again, maybe 2-0. I don't think we get a shutout, but we'll keep an eye on it. We got the goal horn ready. If they actually score a goal in either this game or the other game, the guys have their finger on the button ready to go if that happens. The hockey's been pretty entertaining, Joe. There's going to be a couple really entertaining hockey games tonight while we're on a little bit later. The Knights host or on the road against the Stars. Really low line. I mean, this is going to be a good hockey game too. Any thoughts, initial thoughts on that one? Because I'm leaning Dallas, but the Knights could win this hockey game.
Yeah, listen. The Knights in Florida Part 2 are coming. So let's just get this out of the way. Let's just get it out of the way. You might as well book your ticket now, Dave, because it's coming. The Panthers will make quick work of Tampa. They'll move on through the East. and that'll be the end of it. And now I just need your boys in Vegas to hold up their end of the bargain, and it starts tonight, by the way. And also, we should mention, for those that may not know, this is not like the regular season. So if you are taking any puck lines, let me just warn you, the goalies will not be in net in the final 2 minutes of the game. So empty netter is very much alive and possible. So if you happen to have, like, let's say last night with Nashville plus a puck and a half, and all of a sudden it was 3-2 looking great until they pulled the goalie and got an empty netter Vancouver at the end and made it 4-2, and you're like, where did things go wrong? Well, just be cognizant of the pulling of the goalies in the final 2, 3, 4 minutes here in close games, Dave. Happens every time. And, I mean, who was it? Tampa pulled him way too early. Cooper pulled him way too early in that game. Way too early.
4 minutes
and it came back
just under the 4 minute mark. Yeah, they're pulling them quicker.
Yep.
And it's going to mess up the in-game totals because you think you got this thing nailed.
Yes.
And, you know, it's 3-1. This is going to be the final, or 2-1. And then the empty netter happens. Then there's another goal. Like it happened
correct.
in a Tampa game. There was another goal.
Yep.
I think we get a low scoring game in the first game later, you know, night's game. But I think the total
more.
goes over at Edmonton.
Plenty of hockey to go here. We're just getting started. In-game live. Prime time. We'll be back after this on the grid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at 3/4 golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He was like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, you know, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, yeah, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
We talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, you know, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, you know, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. You know, there's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in-game live, prime time here on a playoff Monday. Much going on here in the SportsGrid network as the NBA playoffs. 3 games scheduled for tonight, 2 underway right now. We got Philly on top, 29-22 here in the second quarter. About 9.5 minutes to go in that one. I believe there's something that resembles basketball being played in Cleveland right now. It looks a lot more like we're watching a Scotty Farrell intramural league, but that's a whole different conversation here. I'm just saying, Pharrell's got a much better jumper than some of these dudes on the court right now. But nonetheless, we do have the Cavs out in front right now handling their business against the lowly Orlando Magic in this one here. And listen, I thought Orlando they were a much better team at home this year than they were on the road. That is once again very evident here. They're down 58-44 at the break. So Cleveland picking up the offense here a little bit. The Magic still can't get to the half-century mark and a half. So only 44 points here tonight. I thought the total was a little low because of the overreaction, Dave, to what we saw in that first game the other night. And I thought people just kind of bet this thing way too long because the Cavs are going to be able to score. We know that. We've seen them do this. And the Magic eventually are going to get a lot of free looks because the Cavs are going to be blowing them out. So I thought for sure we would get at least close to 100 points for the Magic tonight, which would really be all we needed in order to get over 202.5, I think it was, 203, somewhere in that ballpark there. But the Magic are going to have to win some games at home, which they did all year long. They were very good, a very profitable team to back in Orlando, but I just don't see them beating Cleveland in Cleveland. So unless the Cavs can pull one out on the road, I think this is probably done in 6 with Cleveland winning every game at home.
Yeah, might be done sooner. I was on with K-Dub on Game Time Decisions, and apparently Suggs got hurt for Orlando. He only played 7 minutes in the first half. No points. This is a big thing. When you look at the bracket, a short series for the Cavs sets up perfectly for a matchup with the Celtics. And
yes,
the Celtics took care of the Heat. I don't even think they played close to their best game, and they won and covered and won by 20. So this is setting up in that bracket, that top half in the East. I don't know. I want to say Cleveland has a shot because, I do the Bostonian versus the book, and it's bad enough that every Boston team won every single game they played, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The Red Sox swept the Pirates. It was a complete disaster for anybody rooting against Boston. Bruins are leading 2-1, by the way, in the second period. Never ends. This is crazy. But Eastern side, it looks, like chalk, and the Bucks handled the Pacers pretty easily. First time out for teams is automatic bet against, at least in game 1. Now, how much do you adjust the odds? You see it right there, 109.94, and I don't even know if that score is indicative of the actual final because it was over early. The Bucks were making shots and the Pacers couldn't make anything. So, do they need Giannis? What do you think, Joe? Like, there's no rush for the Bucks to bring back Giannis, right? I mean, if you can cruise through this first series without him, you do it, don't you?
Oh, you're gonna milk that for as long as it takes. But quite honestly, I don't know how good he is regardless, because that calf and hamstring and everything else. I think they're going to milk it for as long as they can, unless he absolutely positively goes down 3-1 or something along those lines. But the truth is, Indiana picked the worst time to have their worst shooting game of the year. And that's exactly what they had in the first half there. Halliburton doesn't look right either to me. We know he's had some hamstring injuries over the last month and a half of the season after the All-Star break. He missed a lot of games. He doesn't look 100%. He was absolutely MIA in that game when they needed him. He was nowhere to be found. So both of these teams still have some question marks across the board. So it was a good win by Milwaukee. They held serve at home, which is what's supposed to happen here.
Right.
And now the Pacers, the best part about that game last night was the fact that the Pacers showed some moxie in the second half, and it could have been a lot worse than what the final score was, believe it or not. But I thought they showed a lot of resilience and a lot of fight, which means, hey, it only counts as one loss, right, Dave? Only one. So you're not down 2-0. You're only down 1-0, and you have an opportunity still to steal one in Milwaukee and go back tied 1-1, which quite honestly was the whole point when they went there to begin with, isn't it?
Right. Absolutely. But you see the series prices between these two, right?
Oh,
You see the
absurd.
Milwaukee series price. There it is. Great job, boys. Minus 230 plus 184. Then there's the other series price with your Miami team, where you look at it and it can't help but chuckle when I see this, because they had to make it say 50K because you can't fit that many zeros in that box and keep the graphic right. I can't remember ever putting a series price this high in my life. This is, at some point, you just turn it off because what's the purpose of the computer? Just like the when Y2K was going to happen, everybody thought the computers were going to stop functioning because they didn't know how to flip it to the year 2000. I wouldn't even know how to type in minus 50,000 on an odds thing. That's a lot. It's done. The Celtics are on to the next round. It's just a matter of whether they sweep or they win in 5, right?
Yeah, no, exactly, because that's exactly what those numbers looked like last year before Game 1. And then they lost 3 in a row, the Celtics, and also kind of looked like that the minute they won some games. I'm just saying, it doesn't make a difference. I mean, it's, every time we stick a fork in this team, they figure out ways to get people to lose a lot of money laying it with big favorites. Just saying, you may want to hold off on sticking a fork in Miami just yet. We got an update on the ice. We'll bring that to you when In-Game Live Primetime continues.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He was like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in here, In-Game Live Primetime on the SportsGrid Network. We've got an update for you on the ice. Little NHL hockey here is the Islanders have scored not one, but 2 very quick goals here right towards the end of the first period. It's 2-0 Islanders over the Hurricanes. Islanders down 1-0 in that series. Still 2-1, by the way, Bruins and Maple Leafs. We've got the Golden Knights, the Stars coming up 9:30 Eastern time And then, of course, the Kings and the Oilers will be the late game here tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern time. The puck will drop there. We do have Philadelphia figuring some things out here. Still going strong in that one here, Dave. 41-33, it looks like, on top of the Knicks at the Garden. And we're getting ready for that second half between the Cavs and Orlando. I didn't see the Islanders scoring 2 goals in the first period here, Dave. I don't know if you had that on your bingo card.
Nobody did.
Yeah.
That's one of those ones.
Think so.
We'll see.
Jeez.
No. We'll see if now, I mean, I don't want to say it's if they score a third goal that it's done, but if they get that 3-goal lead in the regular season, that's the dreaded 3-goal lead is what I like to call it. But in the playoffs against a team like Carolina, they'll have to change everything. You know, they completely change. That next goal was vital. So, you know, if you're looking at
what's an in-game number now?
Oh, that's what I'm looking at right now.
What's the total now?
Wow.
6.5?
6.5 is the total. Under's big favorite, minus 150. But you can take Carolina plus 250, minus 300 for the Islanders. So, wow. You get the home team, the odds-on favorite to win the whole thing. You could take them right now, plus 220 or 240, depending on where you're shopping. If you think they're going to score the next, you just have to do it. Because that's going to go.
I don't know how we don't.
Minus 130, right?
Yeah.
If the Islanders don't score the next goal, if Carolina scores the next goal, it goes to Islanders minus 130 or close to pick them. And then with every power play, it'll flip. And I don't know if they get 2 in a row and tie this thing. It'll be tough for the Islanders to hold on. So. Did you glance at the baseball? By the way, did you glance at the baseball? Jones is pitching for the Pirates. The line steamed up on a team that lost all week. They lost every game they played last week. The Pirates did. Home favorites against Milwaukee. They're up 4-1 in the 6th. Jones is an absolute bet on going forward every game he plays. Odds makers haven't quite adjusted to it. But you mentioned it during the break. The Phillies playing Cincinnati. Game was a pick-em. Suarez, come on. He's been magic, Joe. He's been great. So there's one Philadelphia team that's going to win. The Sixers, usually the city parlays lose. This would be a hell of a night in Philadelphia. Phillies win at Cincy, and the Sixers win at New York. Here we go.
No. You got a better chance of Toronto winning here tonight than you do Philadelphia being able to pull it out. The Phillies will pull it out because, Cincinnati apparently can't hit water if they fell out of a boat at the Great American Ballpark. But I do think that the Knicks might be worth a look-see here also. Same situation with the Hurricanes, right? Down 2-0. The Knicks are going to be trailing at the half, which, if I'm not mistaken, was exactly what they were doing in the first game as well. So they're down 10, but there's still a million miles to go. Is there 4 minutes left to go before the half there? We'll have to see where that goes. But Maxey should get sick more often here. 16 points, 3 boards, 3 assists already in the first half. So much for the illness, whatever that was. He should hold on to that illness here. 63-44 now, it looks like, as the Cavs are continuing the third quarter right where they left off. So that's not going well. But we are invested in the over 202.5 in that game. So hopefully we'll get enough out of the Magic to get that thing up and over. We have another game coming up a little bit later tonight, and that's going to involve one LeBron James. And, of course, the Joker in Denver, which I believe they have not beaten Denver since 2022, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a hot minute since they've had a chance to actually celebrate beating the Nuggets. Will tonight be the night? We got a lot to go over in that game, too, and we'll do it when we get back here as In-Game Live Primetime continues on this Monday night here on the SportsGrid Network.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He was like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, yeah, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
We talked about the Otani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in here, InGame Live, and we are PrimeTime on a Monday. We got playoff basketball going on right now in the association. We've got a nice slate of Major League Baseball games, and of course, the Stanley Cup playoffs. Nothing quite like Stanley Cup playoff action right now, and we've got two good games going on here, and nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody, paying more attention to the Islanders right now and their 2-goal lead over the Hurricanes. Our good friend George Kurtz joining us here, and Kurtz, we looked up, it was 1-0. Then the Hurricanes had a power play, and then all of a sudden we see it's 2-0 Islanders. What is going on at that in this game right now with Carolina?
It's funny, the Islanders didn't get their first shot on goal till about 6.5 minutes left in the first period here, right?
Oh.
And then the Hurricanes sort of lost track of the puck. Palmieri just, sort of pushes it in there when it was right next to Frederick Anderson. And then Horvath got loose. They got loose on a breakaway, made the save there. Then he gets loose again about a minute later. Good pass from Barzell there, and he rips it home, makes up for the breakaway miss there. So Islanders up 2-0. Wow. I'm not going to tell you they've outplayed them. Not that Carolina's really outplayed the Islanders either here. But, guys, you can make a pretty good argument that the Islanders should have won on Saturday. They really outplayed the Hurricanes there, but they couldn't bury it. Tonight, they're burying the pucks here. All right, but the Islanders bugaboo all season, protecting leads here. So it's far from over here. Lord knows the Islanders in the third period have not been friends all season long here. But if they can just get back to Elmont, 1-1 tie, we'd be thrilled about it with Game 3 on Thursday night.
Be perfect. Actually, it would be perfect. They did play a really good game in Game 1. It was 2-1 and at the end or whatever, 3-1 final. Okay. They're playing it close to the vest. I'm looking through the stats right now. 18 faceoffs for Carolina, 8 for the Islanders. 10 shots for Carolina, 7 for the Islanders. 13 hits for the Carolina Hurricanes. Wow. And 9 for the Islanders. So everything you just said, they're losing in everything but the scoreboard, which is all that matters. But you said it best. They've had trouble protecting leads. You'd rather be in this spot, though, George, right? 2-0 lead on the road. We know what we have to do. But if you're going to make a bet in game, it's minus 300 on the Islanders right now. No chance you're taking that. Is it worthy of a bet at plus 240 on the Hurricanes? Because if they score the next goal, goes back to below or close to the, pick 'em in this game.
Well, you and I both just said it, right? The Islanders have struggled all season long. And we're not just talking 1-goal leads, 2-goal leads, even 3-goal leads. They do struggle to protect. They go into a shell. And it's weird. They're a better defensive team when they don't go into a shell than when they do go into a shell. All right, so they just have to play their game. And we all know Islanders' 30-second penalty kill. Got to stay out of the box, which they've done so far tonight, outside of the a late first period penalty here. Got to stay out of the box because you're not good at killing penalties at all here. This is massively important now because we all know how it works. If Carolina does score the next goal, here we go. Everyone starts to feel it, right? It's not just the fans who feel it. The players feel it too because they know about it here. And, of course, for the series-wise, you can't blow this game now. You need to go back to UBS 1-1. Has to happen here. So, listen, they through 4 periods now, they have played very well in Carolina. You can't say you should have swept them no matter what's happening here, but you have to – the next 2 periods, you have to close this out and get a W here going back to Long Island.
So we got the other game right now, a battle there. We had 3 goals in the first period, nothing since. I mean, Olmark is just standing on top of his head right now for Boston. Maybe they learned their lesson, right? No need to rotate goalies and do all that kind of thing. Just go with the guy that has the hot hand, and right now he does, and he has kept Boston in front here. 2-1, 5 minutes to go in the second. What are you seeing here?
Well, that was the big question of the day, right? What were they going to do in net? Swayman plays game 1. Swayman was great, right? Only lets up to 1 goal. Swayman, by the way, also was 3-0 against Boston this season. So now he's 4-0. Yep. I thought this was a rough call. Going into the series, I thought it was easy. Listen, keep the rotation going. That's what you do all season long. Right. The rotations worked. Why break it up now? You broke it up in the playoffs last year. Remember against Florida last year, they decided to break up the rotation. Yep. They went with Olmark for the first 6 games. And then they finally switched to Swayman game 7 here. It didn't work here. So going in, I was like, that's the thing to do here. Then I'm like, today, boy, I think I might stay with Swayman here. He played so well game 1. He's 4-0 against the Boston Bruins. And by the way, Toronto has not had a lead against the Bruins coming into this game this season. So I guess it's one of those things where the head coach can't win, right? Because if they lose tonight 5-4, what are you doing? Why'd you make the switch? If you would have stayed the same, you lose 5-4. Why didn't you switch? Either way, he was sort of screwed here, toast. For Toronto, what's up with Nylander? Not playing again here. Yeah. And now we're hearing and this is always the hard thing. Nylander got hurt in game 82. All right, the last game of the season here. And I think he might have only been playing there because Matthews was going for goal number 70, which really doesn't really mean anything, right? Yeah, it's a nice number here, just an arbitrary number here. Aren't the playoffs more important? Yep. It makes you wonder if he wasn't going for goal number 70, would he have sat? Would Matthews have sat? Maybe Mitch Marner have sat? In other words, is that the reason why Nylander's not playing right now? I think it's a big loss, and I'm starting to wonder, guys, if Toronto can't survive when one of the 3 guys are out. Nylander, Marner, Matthews. They can't get by it here. I think they're a better team than Boston, but I think playing in Boston Garden there, I think it's in their heads. I think they're having all sorts of trouble here. I picked Toronto to win the series before game 1. Yeah, I'm not liking that bet.
No, yeah. We'll get to more of the hockey on the other side. Because, we got to keep things tight with the break and all this other stuff. I got to ask you a question, George. I know you're in New York, and I know you're a Yankee fan. Was that you behind Boone today yelling at the umpire? Did you get Boone kicked out of the game? I tried to look for the shot. I said, was that Kurtz at Yankee Stadium today yelling at the umpire when they lost to the A's this afternoon?
First off, listen, I'm tired of Raineri talking in the background here. You're out of here, buddy. You're just out of here. All right. What a joke. What an absolute joke Hunter Wintleside is, right? That is just terrible. You can't be doing – and he doubled down after the game. Did you hear his comments or see his comments? He doubled down. Oh, no, I've never thrown out somebody because of what a fan said ever in my career. I heard somebody from the corner of the Yankee dugout here. I didn't want to throw out one of the players, so I threw out Boone, who has to be in control of the entire dugout. The players were in the field, buddy. There's like 3 Yankee players that might have been on the bench, and none of them were anywhere near there. All right? I mean, for the love of God, what is wrong with just saying, I blew it? I thought that came from Boone. I didn't realize it came from the I'd have so much more respect for you if you said that. So much more respect. And by the way, if he says that, it stops it cold. Everything's done. He apologized, admitted he made a mistake. You're done. Stops it cold. I remember playing in a hockey game once, and I was yelling at the referee for missing a goal. And he told me, I'm sorry, I missed it. And I'm like, I'm done. He said he missed it. He said he was sorry. What else can I say? All right. I stopped arguing because he said he was sorry. He said he missed it. I don't know why. I think it was just silly here. We know there's no accountability. They can't get rid of Angel Hernandez. They're not going to do anything to Hunter Whiteside either. He should be suspended, should be told to go away. They always be told to go away. They're terrible here. But by the way, did you like how the fan changed his shirt? He was wearing a blue shirt, and now all of a sudden he's wearing a white one. You know, he's an instant meme. He's a meme for everything now.
Yep. Yeah, and he knew it too. He knew exactly what had happened. The poor guy was like, "Oh no way for me to get around this here. Might as well try to go cloak and dagger with that one here." Kind of embarrassing here. We do have a couple other games coming to a close. We were mentioning the Phillies and Suarez Cy Young Award. What we got rolling with him? He's unhittable right now, and the Reds didn't solve it here tonight.
He is looking really good, right? Really good. That's what the Phillies need. We know Zach Wheeler can pitch. We know Nola can pitch. Who else is going to step up there? And the door is open, right? Because the Braves are a mess. I mean, they can hit. We know the Braves can hit, but hey, no Strider. Door is open there for the Phillies.
Big time. We got plenty more to get to here. Major League Baseball, an update in the NBA and NHL, and we will do that when we get back here on InGame Live Primetime.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He was like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, yeah, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back InGame Live. We are primetime here on this Monday. Joe Raineri alongside Dave Sharapan. George Kurtz hanging out with us here as we are underway in Colorado. Yes, that Colorado Rockies right now are trying desperately not to give up a run here in the top of the first to the Padres. Padres have a runner on, but Gomber, that's right, good old Gomber on the mound there for the Rockies, which inevitably, George, has to mean runs here at some particular point. Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna bet this, we got to go team totals over, first 5 over. This is not exactly a stellar pitching matchup here. What'd you think of this game?
Yeah, same way as you, right? I'm on the over. I'm on the Padres in this as well. Yeah. Plus, they played 2 yesterday, right? So maybe they're a little beat up. Bullpen might be a little torched there. So, give me the Padres. Give me the over. Will we get more runs in this game last night or on the Colorado Rockies-Winnipeg Jets game with 13 goals in that one here? And speaking of goals, by the way, Toronto has scored, but they are reviewing it. The Maple Leafs have scored, but it's currently under review.
Yeah.
Was the stick too
high
high?
Stick.
It was
yeah,
over.
It looked like a little high stick.
This is the way. This is the way it's going to go.
That's high. That's not going to count. That's high.
That's over. That's over the crossbar. I think
that's over the crossbar over the head. Will Chamberlain will have to duck for that. No,
terrible.
That's high.
Yeah, it was high. So all right, Toronto's facing being down 2 games to none. Yesterday there were some good hockey games. George, we talked about it earlier. Joe and I did. We wanted to ask you about the series prices and different things like that. I know how I would move them. We can talk about what you think, what you saw, Florida and Tampa. That was a really well played hockey game. Both ends of the ice, very, very physical. Good goaltending, obviously, by both guys. I think these 2 teams have the best number 1 goalie situation. Like, there's not even a question that these guys are playing. And you see to get 3-2, you almost double the series price. It's minus 410 now. Does Tampa win tomorrow? Do they have a shot at getting the split down in Miami?
Well, they got a shot, right? You only lost by 1 goal. So you have a shot here. So it sort of is what it is here. You said it. These 2 teams don't like each other. It is a little nastiness there, a little extra hitting after the whistle here. I think Tampa had to stop getting cute. They got cute yesterday. They only had 19 shots on goal because they were going for the ESPN top 10 play. They wanted to go with tic-tac-toe and pucks in the back of the net. Put rubber on net, man. It's the playoffs. Put rubber on net, get bodies in front, go for the dirty goals, the greasy goals, get somebody in front there. That's how I believe they should play this. And I think they'll do more of that tomorrow. Maybe not a lot. By the way, that goal in Toronto was disallowed. And the Islanders have scored. 3-0 Isles here. So and Anders Lee here puts the puck in the net. Go Islanders go here. So it is what it is here.
Wow.
But sure. Tampa's got a chance to win tomorrow. That being said, I still think Florida wins the series. I think I had him in 6th. I've seen nothing that changes my mind there.
Yeah, kind of hard. I mean, listen, we knew this was going to be a civil war of sorts there. The battle for Florida, they've done a really good job over the last couple of years, battling back and forth. It's going to be a bloodbath, and it's really going to come down to who gets their pound of flesh in that series, and what are we going to be looking. What is the winner of that series going to look like for the next series moving forward? So I think tomorrow is a very, very important game. But you mentioned the Islanders handling business now against the Hurricanes. What do you think of the Rangers handling their business? Is that a sweep in your mind moving forward still? Or do you think, did Washington show you anything to think that maybe they're capable of getting a game or 2?
By the way, Toronto has scored now, and this one will count, by the way. So nice response by the Maple Leafs to get one disallowed and scoring again here. John Tavares, by the way, with the power play goal there for the Maple Leafs here. Listen, this is a gimme for the Rangers, right? The whole series, just a stepping stone. Let's get ready for whoever we're going to face in the second round here, Carolina or the Islanders. So I don't give Washington much of a chance. Maybe they can win game 3 or game 4 at home. Maybe they take one of those games, but the Rangers are an immensely better team than the Washington Capitals. Ovechkin, 0 shots on goal yesterday. That's the same amount that I had. I didn't play. Okay, that's
what
not good.
That?
Well, you can see what the Rangers are doing here on the power play. On the power play, Chris Kreider was saying, "Hey, I'm just following AO wherever he goes." AO was not lining up in his normal spot there in the left circle. He was moving around, and Chris Kreider went wherever AO went. So that 5-on-4 ended up being a 4-on-3. Somebody else score. Anybody else score. You're doing Strom, good luck there. John Carlson, good luck. But we're not letting AO score. And I think that's the right move, by the way, because let's face it, who else on Washington can score? Who else can? I think Washington has no choice. They have to score the first goal. If they don't score the first goal, it's all about the crying. This team's not going to come back.
Which Western Conference series tomorrow do you think interests you more, at least on the dog, right? You have Avalanche Jets, which was an absolute crazy game. Reminded me of an old Smythe Division game, George. And for the kids, they have no idea what we're talking about, but that's when the divisions had names. And the other one, Vancouver hosts their first playoff game in years, since 2015. That was a fun game. 12 seconds. They were losing that game for the whole game, and 12 seconds. Tie it, score a goal. Fastest 2 goals in history for them. Which one do you like better? You get Predators or Avalanche?
Well, the Predators, because they played a real hockey game, right? That was a real game here. I do wonder how the Preds rebound from that kind of loss. Because you said it, they had that game. I don't want to say in control, but they were winning and they lost it in 10, 12 seconds. But the bigger question is going to be, what's going on in Colorado in net? You know, they made some goalie moves today. They called up, I forget who they called up. Sorry about that. But they called up a goalie because Noonan is sick, so he's probably not going to play. He's been the backup here. But I don't think they have any trust in Georgiev right now. I don't think they have any trust in him right now. And I wonder if they're feeling desperate. Even though 1-0, you should be feeling 0-1, I guess, in this case. You shouldn't be feeling desperate yet. But I think you might see a goalie change there in Colorado. So that's the one I'm watching. Because if Georgia's not playing well, he lets in more goals here. He can't stop a beach ball. They don't have a choice here. Colorado is in a lot of trouble.
Feels like there's going to be a lot of over bets in that series moving forward here, Kurtz. I don't know that I'd be looking to sweat out an under in a Winnipeg and Colorado game at any point in this series at all. All right, Kurtz, go watch the Islanders blow it. We'll be back more in-game live coming up next on the grid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at 3/4 golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He was like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
We talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in-game live, and we are PrimeTime here on the SportsGrid Network as we are getting ready for the second half. Knicks and Sixers right now, 53-49. The Knicks did a pretty good job of getting back into that one, but plenty of basketball to go there. Also, 74-60 as the Cavs on top of the Magic in the third here. And, George, we still got some games coming up in Major League Baseball here tonight, all out on the West Coast. I know Angels, Baltimore, as well as the Giants are going to be in full effect here too. How are you looking at this Angels and Orioles matchup with a pretty good pitching matchup, I think?
Yeah, listen, the Orioles are a fun team to watch. No Jackson Holliday tonight. He's getting benched, which I guess is good for our bet here because he's not hitting at all. What's he got? 1 hit and 33 at bats, something like that. It makes you wonder. It's sort of a clock, countdown going on when he might be sent back down. You know, tick, 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 tick. Feel bad for the young player. Don't feel bad for the Orioles. They have plenty of hitters there. I'm on the O's tonight. So I'll take them on the run line there against the Angels. Angels just is not a very good team here. It scares me. I wanted to take the over in this game as well, but Detmers is a decent pitcher, so maybe he can keep the Orioles in check there. But I'm on Baltimore.
I got the Detmers numbers here. Angels are 4-0 when Detmer starts. He's allowed 4 earned runs in 22 and 2/3 innings. Pitched in his career.
4 runs tonight in 5 innings.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying. I'm just saying before you throw Raineri out of here, which I thought
sounds
you
like he's
did.
saying. No.
Yeah, I don't know why Raineri returned. Didn't I get him out of here? You're gonna get suspended.
I don't know.
Buddy.
I don't know how he came
I'll
back.
go change my shirt, and I got no problem doing that right now. No problem.
Like wait till we get to the next game. Mets and Giants, George. All right. Mets had a nice series out in Chavez Ravine. 1, 2 of 3. Got smoked yesterday, but that's going to happen. Quintana and Wynn with a guy starting for the Giants named Wynn. Are they going to win tonight? I mean, that was too easy. I didn't even have Patrick tell me that one in my ear. It was pretty good.
He's actually not bad, the kid. I mean, he's actually
not good.
Right. He's not
okay
terrible.
No, he's not terrible. I think the Mets rebound after the
yes,
can't use that term, butt kicking they got yesterday, right? Which I thought was easy to see. Dodgers had to be a little upset after losing the first 2 games here, and Glasnow was on the mound, and Glasnow got smoked by the Nationals to start before. Thought that game was easy to see it. The Dodgers would have come out and win that game yesterday, so that was nice. I think the Mets rebound tonight with Quintana on the mound. I really want to take the over in this game as well, but man, I have a hard time taking overs in Giants games because who the hell is going to hit on that team? All right, Conforto, Chapman, Lee, Soler. It's a whole bunch of guys. Conforto, the ex-Met there. I just can't do it. But I think the Mets, I think they rebound after that loss yesterday. And by the way, if you're going to lose 10-0. You can't replay that in your head. You got your butt kicked, you move on here. It's not like, if we only would have done this. You know, it's not like the Yankees who can't score any runs at all. Sad.
Sounds like we should probably look at the under in that game too as well. And I still no runs in Colorado and the Padres here, Kurtz, which is a little disheartening here at the top of the second because I am on the over here and it can't seem to get any runs yet. But I have faith that this thing will go up and over. And the in-game number, I think, is under 10 double digits now. So still thinking runs coming here, or you trust Austin Gomber?
Trust Gomber. No, I cannot trust Gomber. And by the way, if you waited, here's your in-game opportunity, right? If you waited, you get no runs in the first inning, that number's going to come down for us. So, I think I like that even better now. It's only 1 inning. I'm not going to panic about this. It's not like the Rockies have a lockdown bullpen where they're not going to score in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. You can get that total in 4 innings here. So, no, I may be annoyed, but I'm not panicked.
Is there an easier bet in baseball right now than betting against the White Sox, fellas? The Twins are up 5-0, 6-0 now in the 5th.
Plenty of time.
When you need to get healthy, you play the White Sox. The Twins have been off to a slow start. There's another one there. I mean, the number's out of control now, but you missed the in-game opportunity. But that was one this morning. I looked at it and said, this is against until they get right. George, they're not getting right anytime soon, right?
No, they have no offense. Not much pitching either. No. Even Crochet, Crockett, whatever you want to call this guy, he's getting rocked too. They don't have anything. Maybe when Luis Robert comes back in maybe 2 weeks, maybe they get something there. Jimenez is, blah. Moncada's out. No, you bet against the White Sox. Probably better in game, though, once the number comes down a little bit if you don't score in the first couple of innings.
I'm rooting for the Islanders, despite what Joe says. Good luck, George.
Nobody wants the Islanders. They're already lost, George, and you know it.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, yeah, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in-game live primetime on this Monday evening here on the SportsGrid Network as we've got plenty going on here. A little playoff basketball, playoff hockey, we've got baseball, and we've got our good friend Dave Sharapan and Mark Zinno here hanging with us as we get to watch it all unfold. And right now, pretty good one there at Madison Square Garden between the Sixers and the Knicks. The Knicks did a great job of closing the gap before the first half ended, and now it's kind of a nice back and forth here, Zin, with the Knicks. 4.5, I think, is what it closed, but this was as high as 6 early this morning. So how did you approach this game here tonight?
I mean, look, I'm a Knicks fan, so I have some bias here, and I wanted to play them again, but I stayed off of it mostly because I didn't think that, the way the Knicks won the first game was probably not typical. They got 42 bench points, including 21 from Miles McBride. Jalen Brunson was 8 of 23 in that game, and that's not a sustainable formula for the Knicks to continue to win basketball games. Tonight, he's 5 of 16. Also, not a sustainable formula for the Knicks to win basketball games. Brunson has got to start making more shots on a regular basis. We can't keep having him miss. I looked at Dante DiVincenzo tonight. The guard for the Knicks only had 8 points in the last game. He was terrible, 3 of 10 shooting from the field. His point total was at 15.5, so we looked over 15.5 in that one. He's got 12 right now with 7:54 left in the third, so we are trending very nicely. We need 2 more buckets out of him or a 3 and a free throw at some point in time for him to get over this number. But DiVincenzo's got to be a guy that's going to be making shots for the Knicks to open things up. But honestly, if Brunson was playing at, top form to these first 2 games, I don't know if they're close. The Knicks are letting Philadelphia hang around because Brunson isn't playing that well. Philly's shooting 44%. That's bad in the NBA. Yeah. College, good. NBA, bad. And if they weren't 10 of 23 from deep and shooting 43%, they'd be out of this game right now. The Knicks would be running away with this thing. So I don't know that Philly is going to be able to hold up, but the Knicks really can't afford to drop one here at home and have to head back to Philadelphia tied 1 apiece.
What do you think, Zin? Was that you at Yankee Stadium today behind Boone? Was that I couldn't tell who it was. I asked him, I asked George earlier if that was him.
No.
Did you see him get thrown out? He didn't say nothing?
I did. That guy in the stands was eerily similar to me at my kid's Little League game. yelling at the umps. So that's what that was. I actually got a warning on Saturday from the umpire. I did. I got a warning. I'm the assistant coach, so I was in the dugout. I got a warning. They had to come over and tell me to settle down. And literally, he missed another one, and I looked at him and said, I'm going to throw myself out of this game in about 3 seconds. I can't take this anymore. I'm going to walk out on my own. That's how bad your strike zone is.
We all thought we were taking bets on whether or not that was maybe you snuck out there for a little afternoon, but then we would have realized you would have been throwing up watching the A's beat the Yankees and shut them out. So that's a totally different issue that we have there.
The Yankees are going to be tomorrow. Imagine the size of the favorite they're going to be.
Thank you. And we're fading them. So, and I didn't think Rodon pitched all that bad. So, unfortunate for the Yankees and Boone here today. But the good news is we go from Boone to LeBron. I believe LeBron has a opportunity here to right the ship in Denver. And something tells me you are not going to be in the camp of the Lakers making this a series here. I got something tells me you're not buying in.
No. Look, there's not a thing that the Lakers do better than the Nuggets. Like, other than get off the bus and have LeBron and Anthony Davis in uniform, there's nothing better that they do. So this is not a good Lakers team, and I'm not sure why odds makers, I guess it's because the public can't help themselves and not bet on LeBron. But there is no reason why this line, which was 7 in game 1, should have remained 7 in game 2. Look, the Lakers outshot the Nuggets from the field. They scored 60 points in the first half and only managed to be up by 3 in game 1 because LeBron made a last-second three-pointer, and they still lost the game by double digits. The only prayer the Lakers have in any game in this series is to shoot the lights out from 3, which they don't do particularly well. And you're talking about a Nuggets defense that's 8th overall in defensive efficiency and top 10 in the league in three-point field goal percentage defense, with a great defender and a great rebounder in the middle. So when you miss that 3, guess who gets it? That guy Jokic, from last time I checked, was still pretty good at basketball. So this is a terrible mismatch for the Lakers. Their best showing might have been the first 24 minutes of game 1. I don't know that they don't get swept again. I genuinely think they do.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I pretty much summed it up. I was going to ask a follow-up question about the over.
Why even play the games? I have said so. It is an edict. I just should have run with it.
So, would you bet sweep then? I mean, would you bet sweep, or is this a 5-gamer? Like the Lakers, they can win a game at home, no?
If they shoot well from 3. Like, we thought that last year in the Western Conference Finals, and the Nuggets annihilated them. Again, this is not a good Lakers team. Like, we keep trying to, because we get stuck on LeBron and Anthony Davis, we keep trying to make them into something that they're not. If they were a good team, they wouldn't have been in the play-in tournament. If they were a good team, they wouldn't be the 7th seed. They're not a good team. They are flawed. They don't do a lot of things well. LeBron and AD have carried them as far as you can humanly carry 13 other average to below average basketball players, and this is what they are. When you have a team like Denver, that shoots as well as they do, shoots from 3 as well as they do, they work on the perimeter, they defend well. Like, again, Denver's a markedly better team. There's nothing that the Lakers do better than Denver. So Denver can only beat themselves. It's going to be very hard for the Lakers to win a game here.
It's also going to be very hard for the Magic to score 90 points in an NBA game, apparently. I know you've had this conversation, too, where how do we not get 100 points from each NBA team in this day and age? Well, 87-65, the Cavs are up here, Zin, and I'm only seeing 9 minutes left here in the game. Any chance they can get 35 points in 9 minutes?
I mean, Alabama might be able to score 100 on Cleveland right now, the way the Magic are shooting. This is maniacal. Like, if I'm Orlando, just start chucking up threes and hope they get in. Like, I was talking about it this morning, and I'm just simply saying, like, is this going to be a game where both teams score less than 100 again? And the way this thing is trending in the fourth quarter, you're going to see the Cavs just dribble every possession out. With under 8 minutes left, trailing by 22. Like, what's the reason why the Cavaliers, who already don't play a fast pace, are going to try to push it in the fourth quarter? Now, they only need 13 more points to get to 100, so they probably will. But, look, the Magic's youth here might be getting the better of them. We talk so much about Oklahoma City and their youth, but this is a Magic team that's equally as young, despite the age numbers not matching up to what Oklahoma City is. But they don't have any playoff experience, and they're just getting swallowed up by the moment here. This is also an Orlando offense that throughout the year, when they play legitimate defenses, struggled. And Cleveland locks people down as good as anybody in this league. So maybe it's just time to start taking Magic team total unders, because I'm curious to see when this thing flips to Orlando for Game 3, if they even have the Magic scoring 100. If they do, I would take the under, because I don't know that Cleveland's going to allow it to happen.
We were on the air last night, me, you, and Drew, for the OKC game. And that game turned out to be a really close game. Right?
Yeah.
Ugly, under, as usual. I think the Pelicans got a shot tomorrow to keep it close again. Do you?
I don't know. I mean, the OKC offense is a lot better than what they put up, right? And this is coming from somebody who was on their team total over last night at 112. They average 124 at home, right? Like, it wasn't even like it was close. So if they start shooting better, they can run this team out of the gym, literally. But you have to give credit to New Orleans defense. That's a top 10 defensive unit in defensive efficiency. Even without Zion, they played really well. But if OKC can start making shots, they can run away with this thing.
They need to control the pace. If they can control the pace, they'll get plenty enough points in that game there. All right, much more to talk about. We got a couple of late-night MLB games. We'll go over them next here, in-game live primetime.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He was like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in-game live. We are primetime here on the SportsGrid Network as we've got, something that resembles basketball finishing up in Cleveland here, as no doubt the Cavs are going to go up 2-0 on the Orlando Magic, but the Knicks and the Sixers are battling right now, 67-66, 4 minutes to go in the third quarter here. Embiid on the bench. He is giving it his all. I'll give him credit because I didn't think he'd be in the entire game here, but they are holding tough right now at the Garden against them here. Mark Zinno in the house. Dave Sharapan here. And your Knicks finally have a lead. They haven't led this entire game.
DiVincenzo has 16, so he hit his over 15 and a half. Cash that one.
What with this? So they didn't even have a lead yet. They just finally took the lead. The Knicks have been trailing this entire game. Wow.
Yep.
That's kind of crazy.
Like that. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm officially coming back playing the Brewers tomorrow again, just so you guys know.
Is it over?
Really?
Yeah, it's over.
Bednar closed it out. Oh,
Bednar closed
my goodness. That's awful.
Look, there are certain times where price dictates how you bet. Dave, you know this. When I get an offense like the Milwaukee Brewers that is second in batting average, second in OPS, and third in WRC plus, and they only have to clear 3.5, and it's even money, I get Jared Jones is on the mound for Pittsburgh. He's a great starter. He's a good live arm, a guy who hits 100, 22 years old, a great K per 9 rate, but I just couldn't pass that up. They didn't really get 2 runs off of Jones, and that was really the key. And the Pittsburgh bullpen is kind of also what turned me on to it, that they might be able to score late. They pushed an extra run across. They left guys on second and third in the 8th inning with 2 outs, and a base hit there would have got me to 4. So they had plenty of opportunities to do it. But it's just one of those things where when an offense that good is even money, to get over 3.5, which you rarely ever see, I couldn't walk away from it. So I got suckered into it, and it was on the wrong side.
Makes sense.
What is this hat, Dave? No, what is the hat they're wearing in Pittsburgh? No. In Pittsburgh, what is this absurd hat? And why do you not have one? No. What does the bird have to do with the Pirates? What? There's some sort of bird hat in Pittsburgh. Oh my! The whole stand is wearing them.
They are Pirates with parrots. Buccaneers, with a parrot?
Is it a parrot?
I don't know, Joe. I'm not watching the game. I'm watching the hockey.
It is.
I'm locked into the
ugly.
Hockey. Before we do that, so tomorrow the Brewers are going to end up favorites. The overnight line, my one place that does it down south.
Dog today,
yeah, they're not going to be a dog tomorrow. Falter's pitching for the Pirates. It's no good. It's Brewers and over tomorrow.
That guy's no pitching career is a falter.
It's amazing. And then the Yankees are $2 favorites tomorrow, just so you know, actually less against the A's than they were today. So that's tomorrow. We got to talk about tonight. All right. We got the Mets playing the Giants. And the game's a pick 'em. Wynn is pitching for the Giants. Quintana's pitching for the Mets. They're coming off a 2 of 3. The computer actually picked the Mets. The smart projection.
I would
side total in this.
Look, I didn't play the game, but it was interesting to me that the Mets, who had won 5 in a row, they get spanked by the Dodgers on that Sunday game. But look, they've started to wake up a little bit. The bats, they've started to score runs. They're in a pitcher's ballpark, so runs are going to be at a premium in general here. I like the way the Mets are playing right now. And Quintana's been a pretty good starter this year. He was excellent last time out against the Marlins. He kept the Braves in checks when he faced them in a game that the Mets won. And look, we may have underestimated the Mets. It's early. We're not even anywhere near Memorial Day, but they're starting to come out of it. And the pitching has been better than what people have expected. So I'm not ready to count this team out yet. They got hot right at the right time. Remember, they swept the Pirates for 3 and took the first 2 from the Dodgers. So it's not like they did it against slept competition when they won 5 in a row. They beat legitimate teams at this point. So I wouldn't step in front of the Mets here. I like the Mets. I'd take them as a dog.
What about the Angels and the O's here tonight? Are you Detmer's on the mound for them?
I played Angels first 5. Why? Because I want nothing to do with the Angels bullpen. I'd rather go grocery shopping and pay $12 for eggs and milk. But beyond that, this is a Reed Detmers here who's been phenomenal through his starts this year. Last night, it was Grayson Rodriguez penciled in to start, and I was ready to stay off the game. Why? Because he's been very good for the Orioles as well. He's getting some of the best run support in baseball at 9 runs a game, which is insane. And then they made the change to Albert Suarez, who last week faced the Minnesota Twins and made his first start, guys, in 7 years. Like, that's 1 year old for a dog. So it was a long time. He toiled around in Korea and the Far East there and finally got back to the bigs. This isn't the Twins lineup. This is actually a good lineup with the Angels here. So I think that I think the Angels get to Suarez. I took them in the first 5. I even chased a little plus money here. Didn't take the money line and lay like the minus 120, minus 130. I took the Angels minus a half at plus 110. So I think when we get to the first 5 here, I feel pretty good about where the Angels will be. They should be up by a run.
You think the over might be in play here? Think we can get some runs on both sides?
With Detmers on the mound, I don't think so. But the Angels' bullpen is suspect at best. So you could get them late. Look, the Orioles are one of the best lineups in baseball, 1 through 9. Again, I challenge most people to name 3 guys in the Orioles lineup beyond Gunnar Henderson, and I don't really know that many people can. But again, they're facing a lefty. Austin Hayes not in the lineup. Colton Cowser, the rookie, he's going to be batting against a lefty pitcher. He's a lefty hitter, so he might not have the same level of success. I think the Angels here are the right side.
Yeah, well, we got those two.
How's that?
There you go.
2 other guys.
Cedric Mullins.
Rushton,
I mean,
Who else? I can't remember half these pitchers outside of Colton Burns. I can't remember half of these guys. They're in there. I remember all the good ones are hurt. Pitchers are a little different.
I can't remember the last time Austin Gomber was this good because the Padres keep leaving dudes all over the base, and they're only got 1 run everywhere. Runners on first and third, second, and you got to start pushing some of these guys across here, Padres. Let's go because we're laying 1.5 with San Diego tonight.
Fat is in trouble too with Arizona right now. Bases loaded, nobody out. Cardinals have them loaded. Will they be able to finally get a run? We'll let you know what happens when we get back here in game live prime time on the Sports Grid Network.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at 3/4 golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He was like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in here in-game live. We are prime time, and we've got the Knicks pulling away now here over the Sixers, 76-72. Just about 20 seconds left in the third quarter as Embiid comes hobbling out onto the court right now. So that this could get really ugly really quickly for the Sixers in this one as they get ready for the fourth. And somehow or another, Orlando, with about 4.5 minutes, Dave, is still in this game. It's an 11-point Cavs lead. Somebody got run over on the court side there. They had to bring a stretcher out and pause the game there for a minute while they loaded somebody up on a stretcher that Franz Wagner just literally annihilated there as he was running for a ball out of bounds. But they are not out of it yet with 4 minutes to go. I can't even believe I'm saying that, but maybe we stuck a fork in Orlando too soon.
They're not in danger, of covering or winning the game.
6.
I got
not winning, but covering.
Okay.
Yeah.
Covering.
But covering. Yeah, no, covering maybe.
That's the beauty
You're
of this,
saying
right?
there's a chance.
The beauty of the
It's
wagering.
so ridiculous.
The beauty of the wagering is that you can still cover. But I don't think the Magic are going to win the game. Stranger things have happened.
No.
91-78, 3 minutes, 52 seconds left. I guess it could happen, but unlikely. I also feel like what isn't going to happen is that the Sixers are going to win a game in New York. I got 77-72 with 10 seconds left in the third quarter. The Knicks, rinse and repeat. This is what happened in game one. They're up, hold the lead in the fourth quarter. Can they get it done? Yes, probably. We got games getting ready to start in the NHL. The Knights in Dallas is coming up here at the bottom of the hour. I don't know, Joe. What do you think? The buzz here in town is that the Knights got who they wanted to play. All I've heard is that they were 3-0 against them, and they got to pick their opponent by losing as $4 favorites in the last game of the regular season against the Ducks. It's minus 142 tonight, right there on the screen. 5.5 the total. What do you think, Joe? What do you think?
Oh, it feels like it's an under. That's the first thing.
Yep.
But I don't know about them tanking to get anybody here. I know that was a big rumor here, Vegas, because, listen, you got to play who you got to play, right? One way or the other. It does seem a little pricey, though, for Dallas, doesn't it? That's kind of a big number as a $1.50 favorite. Are they really? What is home ice, Dave, and from a price perspective? What would you say home ice? Because it certainly means more in the NHL, right? It means it in the NBA too as well. But I think the NHL home ice may be worth a little bit more than what it is in, let's say, the NBA.
It used to mean more, I think, into the number. And then, when COVID happened, everything, there was no crowds, there was none of that stuff. And then it was hard to adjust it back. And now, you see the playoff environments. The buildings are so juiced up, and having that last change and being able to put your stick down second on the faceoffs. Watch these games. You'll see the home team winning a lot more faceoffs. The last line change is enormous. It doesn't impact the regular season as much because there's more penalties called. Now, you get matchups, you get a lot more 5-on-5 play. And the team in the NHL, by the way, that allowed the least number of goals 5-on-5, I'll give you two guesses. I'll give you the conference, and I don't think you'll get it right. The Eastern Conference. Which team let in the least amount of goals, even straight, 5-on-5?
Oh, in the East, would it be the Rangers?
Nope.
Really?
Nope, was not.
Well,
they were the one
can't
seed.
Be the Devils.
Wasn't the Devils? It was your Florida.
No, the Panthers.
Panthers.
Really?
Least amount of
on
goals
5-on-5.
5-on-5. Yep. Which is conducive to future success in the playoffs.
Yes, which is also conducive to them possibly going up 2 games to none tomorrow, because these are big games. It's big in Boston right now because I think Boston would love to go up 2-0 on Toronto, but still 9 minutes to go in the game there, and Toronto does not, under any circumstances, want to head home down 2 games to none. So a lot still to be decided there. We got the puck dropping in another game, so we got plenty to get to here on InGame Live PrimeTime.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, yeah, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
We talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back InGame Live. We are PrimeTime here on this Monday as we've got our eye on the Garden, Madison Square Garden, in fact. A really good one in the fourth quarter right now. Game 2 of that set between the Knicks and the Sixers, and it is now a one-point game as Maxey is just bawling here tonight for a guy that had an illness all day and was listed as questionable. He is absolutely balling, just drains the 3 now, puts them within 1, and that should be a pretty good one down the stretch. And for the love, please, just end this. End this Cleveland Cavs in Orlando. They're setting basketball back 150 years. It's the most unbelievable thing you've ever seen. And we got to get ready, of course, coming up top of the hour. We've got Lakers taking on the Nuggets in this one. 7.5 now, starting to see it here. Why should we think, Dave, that this is going to be anything different than what we've seen over the last 2 years, where the Lakers are just going to run out of steam in the fourth quarter and Denver's going to pull away and win?
I think you just summed it up. That's it. That's the move.
I mean, that's it.
That's it. We've seen the playbook before. Wow. Boys, if you got the horn, crank it up right now.
Yeah.
Gigantic goal.
Austin Matthews, right? Austin Matthews. Yep.
I'll do it. All
What's that, his 71st?
Yeah, Maple Leafs up.
What's that, his 71st goal?
Yeah.
How many has he got now?
Right. No, that was...
Did he get 70 in a regular season?
He scored 69
He didn't get
in
it,
the
did
regular
he?
season. What a breakaway goal.
There
That's
it is.
huge for them. All right.
Yep.
So that's they're up. But yeah, no, the basketball's simple. We've seen it already. And Zinn said it. They have to shoot the lights out from 3. It's the only way, which would lead you to the over, right? That would lead you to the over. So, wow. Maple Leafs this season, it's the first lead versus the Bruins the entire year, and they are buzzing for another one. This is going to be good. This is going to be good
flying.
for the rest of the show. We'll sort this one out. Joe, the other game in the NHL that's going to start right at the bottom of the hour, Edmonton and the Kings. The Kings asked for Edmonton. I was watching their broadcast the last night of the regular season. They came back and beat the Blackhawks. They said, we'll play them again. They've played them now the last couple of years. They haven't beaten them.
Mm-hmm.
Any shot the Kings make this a series, or is this we've seen, just like we did with the Lakers and the Nuggets, we've seen this before. And it's Oilers in 5 or Oilers in 6.
Well, I don't, neither team was in great form ending the year, right? They both teams kind of just like slobbered all over themselves to the finish line there. But obviously the Oilers had done much more previously, not to worry about it. But playoffs are a different thing here. I mean, the price tells us that the Oilers should run away with this one, right? They at home. I'm kind of shocked it's not $2, to tell you the truth, with how much the market loves the Oilers here. But my goodness, the perception of the Kings a couple of months ago versus what it is now is kind of crazy. I got a lot of people think the Kings get the first one here. I know a lot of guys that think the Kings are going to shock people here. And if history tells us anything, it shouldn't come as a shock, Dave, should it? Even though they weren't great down the stretch, these are two teams that know each other pretty darn well, don't they?
Kings first 40 versus Kings second 40, meaning 40 games.
Yep.
Beginning of the season started out great.
Night and day.
Talking about them. The number dropped from like 30 to 1 to win the cup as low as 18. I saw some books at 15 to 1. Back half of the season went back up. They had to win the last game, the last 2 weeks of the season to get in. They're not even on the first page of the Stanley Cup odds. We got 10 options on our graphics here. You don't even see them. So, 20 to 1, 25 to 1 in that area for the Kings to win the cup. I hope this is a competitive series. There they are at the bottom of the list in the Western Conference, only better than the Nashville Predators. So I don't know, Joe. I want to see the Kings. I've been to multiple playoff games there. Depending on how things shake down, I might go out to L.A. and try to catch a game, try to see McDavid in person, depending on how long this series is extended. It's all about the goalie. It's all about the goalie for Edmonton. You got to get the good goaltending. If Skinner has to play one with confidence, make those saves that you rely on him to make. A soft goal here will put all that doubt in the fan base again. Expectations are so high. This is Western Conference Finals or bust. Should be Stanley Cup Finals or bust for Edmonton. I think all the pressure's on them. The Kings are playing with house money. This will be a fun series to watch. Late night owls back east.
Well, Cam Talbot's got to show up for the Kings, otherwise these games could be pretty ugly as well. Which is why I saw Draisaitl for an anytime goal was like plus 145, plus 150. That's if you can get those guys in here, because if Cam Talbot was terrible down the stretch. He was not great at all. He allowed 3 or more goals in 6 of his last 8 starts. He went 4-4. He was not good. So, Draisaitl could easily at plus money get the first goal, the second goal, the fourth goal. There's a few guys here. Maybe the prop betting market is not a bad way to look here. But quite honestly, how much faith do you have in Skinner as well here? Maybe the overs. Maybe we're just overthinking it and just, count on the offenses to handle their business.
I don't know what just happened, Joe, but we're going to have Cam on next, and Cam is going to be beside himself. Cam hasn't come on here very often with the Leafs having a lead. They're up 3-2 with 6 minutes to go.
They're in a power play, don't know. Yeah, that's ugly.
I don't know what just happened,
that's ugly.
But the Bruins either took a dive or got them to overreact, and now they're got a kill penalty with 6 minutes to go. The Maple Leafs historically allow a goal here. This is when the Bruins tie it up. We'll go to overtime.
Oh, boy.
And the Bruins will win.
Oh.
If things are going to be different, for the Maple Leafs. They kill this penalty and get an empty net goal and go back to Toronto tied 1-1. This is a huge part of this series. This is the huge part of this game, obviously. I love the fact that the Leafs put the gloves in the guys' faces. They took out Marchand after the whistle. Whatever they were doing, they have to do. But, man, I hope I really hope, for Leafs fans, for Cam, that the Bruins don't tie this up. This is going to be one of those situations where it's going to be a hell of a shift here, to use a hockey term, when Cam comes on, if they tie it up. He's going to be the raging redhead like the entire time. I'm rooting for it to kill the penalty. Please.
Well, then they better get the empty netter because the over is 5.5. So they better get a damn goal,
right?
I'm just telling you right now, they better get 4 because they've already cashed the over 2.5 goals for me here, Toronto. So let's make it a clean sweep and get us that extra that empty net goal coming up here and make it a 4-2 win, and everybody goes home happy here. But about 40 seconds left to go in that power play. We're about 20 minutes away from Vegas and Dallas dropping the puck. And then, of course, the Kings and Edmonton. So we got plenty of NHL hockey to go over, and an update from Madison Square Garden. We'll get you caught up with that as in-game live primetime continues here on the Grid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
We talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in here, in-game live, prime time on this playoff Monday here. The good news is we no longer have to be bothered watching the Cavs and the Magic. Thank goodness that game is over with here. Congratulations, Cavs, going up 2-0 on that G League Orlando Magic team. Great one at the Garden still, 87-82, 7.5 minutes to go in that one, but all eyes here in the final 2 minutes in this very important game 2 of the Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the this Boston Bruins team. 3-2 The goalie is coming off the ice now, Dave, and we're going to bring our goalie in, Cam Stewart here, ready to go and watch this final minute and a half here, Cam. We need one more empty netter to seal this thing, Cam. Make us feel better.
Oh, Joe, I'll tell you, this it's a wild ride watching this team. And I see Dave.
Yeah.
Dave is a true friend. He's wearing the Royals gear because he knows two Toronto teams can't win in the same night, but maybe they can. I don't know. Until this game is over, I don't know, Dave. Joe, I got to tell you guys something. It's been a crazy game, and they took the lead and disallowed goals and this and that. I just want to feel like Morency, like in the third period last night, where his team scored 2 in 12 seconds to get it back. And just what's going on, Dave? You're scaring me. Are you ahead of me?
No, I'm behind you. I'm fine. I'm just thinking. No. So you just summed it up, right? This is a big step. I was saying it earlier, last segment. Everything's gone wrong for the Leafs. They had a goal disallowed.
Yep.
They took a penalty with 4 minutes to go and had to kill, a shorthanded situation. They bounced back right after the goal was disallowed, scored another goal, and went ahead. They've been holding on. Cam, this is big for the series. They got, like in years past, Boston would have tied it up and, gone ahead or won in overtime. Oh, this is I'm
what's going on? There's scrum in front of the net. What the hell's going on?
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
I'm getting stressed watching you watch the game.
You're good.
This new clock was this meant for my torture? Oh my God, that was ridiculous. 48 seconds left. I'm like,
48 seconds left. I can tell you right now, Toronto had the Boston player deflected what would have been right down the ice in the empty netter. They could have had that gone, but great save here. 45 seconds left to go. And we still need that goal for over bettors, by the way. 5.5 is what it closed. So we need that goal, that empty netter. Let's get it here. Also, Cam, Knicks up by 5, 90 to 85, 7 minutes ago. That one looks like it's going to be down to the wire as well here. And when the puck drops in Dallas and Vegas before it drops, who are we betting tonight?
Well, I took the Islanders and Leafs just because they both lost the first game. These two next games are openers. Dave knows Vegas has Mark Stone coming back tonight. They played it smart. Long-time injured reserve. This team does everything right. They know every trick in the book. This is going to be, honestly, this could be like a Western Conference final. Instead, they get each other in the first round. I like Dallas in this spot, but Dave knows Vegas is awesome. You got to get them early before their team totally gets healthy, before Stone gets better. I think Dallas might squeak it out tonight. I think the series is probably going to go 7. As for the Oilers, I like the Oilers against the Kings tonight. I have a round-robin parlay with the Islanders, Leafs, Dallas, and Edmonton. I would also take Edmonton minus 1.5 in this game. Empty net goal. We'll see what happens with the goaltending there. But Edmonton is just one of the LA is going to try to muck it up, and Edmonton's going to try to use skill. Skinner, if he does his job, Edmonton should be fine in this game. Sorry, guys, I'm just coming off a crazy cold, too. I was filling in on coast to coast, and now I'm dealing with this empty net situation here. Very stressful times in the Stewart house.
Get your mind off it. Let's get your mind off it for a second.
Yep.
Were you surprised by the Jets game yesterday against the Avalanche? That was an incredible Cam. It reminded me of being a little kid.
That was awful.
Watching the Winnipeg Jets with the picture of the Queen and a Smythe Division matchup. That was it was incredible, that game. But were you surprised?
13 goals? Yeah. I was very surprised.
Come on.
But I got to be honest with you. Like, I don't know. Well, I know the Jets are good, and Hellebuck, like him imagine that. The guy lets in 6 goals, and you say Colorado lost? Like, they have a situation. Like, I'll tell you something, man. Georgiev, he's hanging on by a thread. This guy lets in a couple early goals next game. It's yank time. Problem is, Colorado's backup's banged up. I don't know what to think, man. All I know is this. Lowry played great. He's up against, one of the best players in the league in McKinnon. He stepped up. Scheifele looked really good. He looked young again. This Jets team is scary as hell, man. They played horribly defensively, but Colorado's that good. This is very scary stuff. Oh, my God. There's a few seconds left here. I want the over 2, Joe, but I need the game more. Yay, finally. I need this so bad.
How did you miss that?
I was going to send Dave the money. If they lose this game, I'm already like, I got to wear this Bruins jersey on air.
Fine.
A huge win.
Yeah.
Get the monkey off the
Big
back.
win.
We got a series now, baby. 1-1.
Yes, sir.
Ready
Yes.
to go.
Yes, sir.
Done.
Wow. I had the
Done.
over two, Joe, but
Wow, that's crazy.
what are we
Yeah.
going to do? You know, I'd rather, honest
I
to
thought
God,
that last
I
shot
can't
was
take
in,
overtime. I couldn't take, my heart couldn't
I
take
thought
overtime.
that last empty netter was in. He was this close. Unbelievable. All right, so you're in for that one, and you're convinced. I mean, Edmonton, are you convinced that one goes 7-2 with the Kings? Because
no. I think Edmonton kills the
you
Kings,
think it's quicker.
honestly. Yeah, I think Edmonton wins in like
that's
5
what
or
I
6.
thought.
I think Dallas goes the distance. I'm going to take the Denver Nuggets and I'll lay 7 tonight with them. I know Lakers almost Denver pulled away last game, and I'm on the Sixers plus 5.5. It's a 3-point game right now. That could go either way. That's all I got. Baseball's been pretty good tonight, and that's it. Late night hockey, guys. I'll tell you, man, stress job, and every channel. Go Islanders. That one's for Carver and the boys here. We're going for the Islanders.
Yes.
Friends of the program. Let's get it done. Tie up that series.
Done.
Yeah. We might have the
stressful.
Toronto parlay in tonight. This is
This is earth shattering. This means the earth is
Never
turning on its axis, Dave. It never happens.
Never happens.
This could be a
Listen,
shift.
we already had the Phillies win. Can the Sixers pull it out? Can we have a Philly City win ticket here, too? We're going to have to figure that one out. Cam coming up top of the hour with Gabe Morency. We'll close it out next here on InGame Live PrimeTime.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at 3/4 golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He was like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
They're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
We talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, one nail biter to the next here. You got to love playoff hockey, playoff NBA action. We've got you covered here on InGame Live PrimeTime. Joe Raineri alongside Dave Sharapan here. And Sharapan, it's a 2-point game. Knicks 96-94. Coming up at about a little less than 3 minutes to go. What a game this has been. What do you think here? Are we thinking that the Knicks pull it out and go up 2-0? Or does Embiid somehow manage to will this team to knot this game up at 1 apiece? Because I do think if it goes to Philly 1-1, it's a different ballgame.
Oh, no question. No, this is gonna, I don't want to say make or break the series, but this is gonna really swing the odds in Philadelphia's favor, right? If they can get this one done. Now, again, home team's supposed to win the first 2 games, and then the visiting team goes to win their 2 home games, and we have a series. That's the way these things sometimes play out. Toronto Maple Leafs had other plans. They get the split. Philly would love nothing more than a split right now. I don't even think it's that big of a deal if they don't win it, but it's huge if they do. So, for them, I think they win both games at home anyway. But this swings, like I said, this swings the season or the series price gigantic if they do.
Yep.
So we'll have it come down to the end. Man, this is crazy.
Oh, it's coming down to the end. Yeah.
The Islanders
did the Islanders just score?
No,
or did
I don't have any.
What are they reviewing? Oh, I think they're reviewing an Islander goal right now. I don't know if he was in the crease, though. I think that's what they're looking at. Okay. No goal, I think.
Everything's locked.
Yeah. I see. No goal. Yeah, they have no goal. So there you go. 3-2.
Oh, boy.
Yes. 3-2 right now, and they're going nuts. But since you just came back, we just had a goal by Vegas in the first 60 seconds, Dave. They got a power play 20 seconds in. Dallas was shorthanded. And guess who? Mark Stone. Goal right off the bat. Welcome back. 1-0 Vegas here. That's kind of crazy.
They're going to be power play.
And it was a chintzy call, too. Like 20 seconds in.
Power play opportunities are going to help them a lot, right? They're going to.
Yep.
I thought the game would play more to the under. You get a goal in the first minute. Now go under 6.5. If you liked under 5.5, you probably could go under 6.5. Now the Knicks just got a shot and missed, and now there's a foul. This one's coming down to the end for the cover, for the win,
absolutely.
for the whole thing.
Nope.
I don't think we're going to worry about the total. I don't think that's going to go over. Joe.
Another penalty day, by the way. Now Vegas is going to the penalty box, and Dallas is now going to be on a power play. So it's going to be, when you usually see the blowing whistles that quick and that often in games, is that a good sign for an over?
Yes.
Right?
Multiple power play opportunities, yes. If the ref is whistle happy, yes, that's a good thing for the over. Yeah, not good if you have the under. Nuggets, any shot of losing tonight, Joe? Nuggets aren't losing.
Listen, I would take if you absolutely positively have to bet the Lakers, I would bet them first quarter, first half, and then just hammer Denver as soon as you get the chance. I mean, that's the only way to look at it here. The Lakers, how many more times in Denver do we have to see them run out of gas in the second half? It's rinse and repeat. So I do think they'll come out with some urgency early. So I wouldn't mind them in the first quarter and in the first half. But really, when that third, and I hope it happens that way, Dave, because I'm pretty sure we can jump in on a much better number at Denver like we did last game here. But I don't see anything changing. And D'Angelo Russell is still going to go 3 of 28 from 3. For the Lakers, and that'll be it. If he can't make a 3, they have no chance of not just winning this game, but winning anything in this series.
Diamondbacks, Cardinals tied 3-3. Bottom of the 8th.
That's why I had him in the first 5. Although, I mean, listen, that's the most runs the Cardinals have scored in about a month in a game. They have been horrific. And 1-1 in Colorado. So the Padres in Colorado in a pitcher's duel here. Who would have saw that top of the 6th? I did not see that coming at all. 5-2 Blue Jays over the Royals, and get ready because Cam Stewart and Gabe Morency coming up next. They will have all of the action for you. Dave and I will talk to you again tomorrow. So enjoy the games. Sports Rage coming up next here on the Grid. Good luck.